Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Joseph. I will be doing the last example for the law of cosines. I hope we notice on this example that we're looking at that we have three sides given to us. The question asks us to solve the triangle. And whenever we're solving a triangle, that means that we have to find all the information that we do not have. And once again, in this problem, we do not have the three angles. So, how are we going to start this problem? The first thing that I hope that we notice is the fact that we are not allowed to use the law of sines yet, because in order to use the law of sines, I need to know one side and an angle that is opposite to it. And as we can see, that is not the case here. So, also as a rule of thumb, you should always start with the largest side and find that angle opposite to it when you start this. So what we're going to do here is, let me first label the sides just to remind you. This is called side Y, this is called side X, and this is called side Z because the sides correspond to the opposite angles. We are going to find angle Y. So I'm going to write Y squared equals Z squared plus X squared minus 2ZX cosine of angle Y. Remember that this outside part must correspond to this. And next, I'm going to substitute everything. So I'm going to have 17 squared equals 11 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 11 times 10 and cosine of Y, which is what I am looking for. As you can see, this looks a lot and it can be daunting, but we just got to do it one step at a time. My recommendation would be to simplify what you have. So I would do 289 equals 121 plus 100 minus whatever 2 times 11 times 10 is, which is 220. And you have cosine of Y. Then I'm going to combine the 121 and the 100, and that should give me 1, 2, 2, so 221 minus 220 cosine of Y. One of the biggest mistakes I see students do is subtract these two numbers. That is a major no-no. You have to remember that this 220 is associated with this cosine of Y. They're being multiplied, so you are not allowed to just do 221 minus 220. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to subtract the 221 from both sides, and you're going to get 68 equals negative 220 cosine of Y. Then we still need to get this Y degree by itself somehow. So we're going to divide by negative 220. And so we have 68 over negative 220 equals cosine of Y. And I hope you notice that I never really simplify until the end. And then you have to remember, how do we solve for an angle? Well, you solve for an angle by doing the inverse. So we should do the inverse of this. And we are going to get 108.004 degrees for angle Y. So I can come here, erase this, and write 108.004 degrees. So that is the first step in all of this. And I hope you see we are not finished because we still have to find the other two. So this was first step. Let's go on to the second step. And just ignore this picture right here. I'm still working on the same problem. I'm just running out of room. So for my second step, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to pick either x or z that I want to solve for. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to pick z, and I'm going to use the law of sines. I can use the law of sines because I finally have a pair, and when I describe a pair, I'm talking about an angle and the side that is opposite to it. So I can write sine of 108.004 degrees divided by 17 equals sine of z over 11. Once again, I did not have to solve for sine of z over 11. I easily could have done sine of x over 10. It's just a preference. And the way we solve this is we cross multiply. So you should get 11 sine of 108.004 degrees equals 17 sine of z. We're going to go ahead and divide by 17. And once again, just notice how I never really simplify anything. I let my calculator do all that for me. That's why we pay good money for that. And then once again, to find the degree, we are just going to do the inverse of all of that. So I'm probably going to have to make a video or do a demonstration on how to use different types of technologies. If you have an advanced calculator such as a TI 83, 84, TN Inspire, even a Casio, it should be pretty straightforward. Using a phone, it is doable, don't get me wrong, it's just a little bit more involved. And when we do this, we're going to get 37.979 degrees for Z. So I'm not going to write that here just because I'm running out of space, but I hope you see that we solved for Z. And our last step is to solve for X. And angle X is just going to be 180 degrees minus the 2 degrees I just found. And I'm going to calculate that real quick and see what that is. 180 minus 108.004. And then subtract that by 37.979. And of course, when you do this on a calculator, sometimes you will mess up and you will write the wrong number. Just like right here, it looks like I wrote 1008 instead of 108. So that is definitely going to happen, and you're just going to have to catch yourself. It's not a big deal. And here I'm going to get 34.017 degrees for X. And that is it. I hope this helped. Have a great day.